everybody, welcome to the first Puffin Virtually Live of 2015. I am Helen Skelton, and joining me in the studio, we have got friends from Moorland Primary School. Yay! And from Canonbury Primary School. They're excited, they're loud, they're proud. We hope you are too, wherever you're watching in the world. We've got schools with us from Aberystwyth to Australia, as well as in Germany, in Holland, and in India. Hello to all of you. Thank you very much for tuning in. And remember, if you've got any questions, if you've got any messages that you want to send in throughout the show, you can do so online at puffinvirtuallylive.co.uk. Now, we're here today to talk about the world's #1 prankster. You know who it is? Denis the Menace! Denis started causing trouble in the Beano in 1951, and he was joined by a hairy friend in 1968. Do you know who his hairy friend was? Oh, they're good, aren't they? Nasher, yes. Over the years, he's got more and more mischievous, and his next target is World Book Day, which is exactly 1 month from today. World Book Day is happening on Thursday, March the 5th. Now, Denis, I'm going to let you into a bit of a secret, is determined to turn it into World Menace Day. To do that, he is going to need you guys, which is why he's written a new diary packed full of tricks and pranks. He has, of course, had a bit of help to write this new diary, so please put your hands together, make lots of noise for Denis's new partner in mayhem, Stephen Butler.
No. Stop. You have to stop clapping. Helen, this is very, very serious. The show cannot go on. I'm very, very sorry. The whole world has gone bonkers.
What?
Yep.
Can you calm down and tell us what's going on? What's wrong with you?
Well, here we are. This is going to blow your bonces off. There is a menace on the loose, and it's not Denis. Now, schools all around the country have been menaced. Classrooms and libraries and canteens. Now, the mystery menace has been playing pranks here at the Puffin Virtually Live studio, and somebody has shaved the theatre cat and been menacing backstage.
Oh, I thought that was one of those expensive designer cats. Someone's actually shaved it. Surely nobody can out-menace Denis, though.
Oh, but they can. And they have before. Well, haven't you heard of the Bash Street Bandit?
Yep, I have,
I thought you might have. Well, this mystery rival nearly took the Prankmaster General's crown, and it was terrible. Well, obviously not the book. That bit was brilliant.
You would say that, you wrote it. Well done, it was good. Right, Stephen, I think what we can do is let's just carry on for now, because loads of people all over the world have tuned in. These guys have come for a show, so let's just carry on as normal, yeah?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
All right, you are a genius. OK, so you were all expecting to just come and see a lovely show today while your teachers paint their not-so-lovely toenails. But this is very serious. So, as well as all the unusual stuff like having your pencils ready for the draw-along later, I need you all to be my menacing squad of detectives. Can you do that?
OK, keep your eyes peeled throughout the show for any menacing behaviour. Now, before you ripped up the script, that was the plan of action, I was going to ask you about how you became an author.
Oh, well, I thought it would actually be more interesting to show you. So, last week I visited my old primary school, and here is what happened. Hello, I've come back to my old school, Culverston Green Primary, and when I'm writing the diary of Denis the Menace, I find it helps to think back to when I was a young, aspiring prankster in this very school. And it just so happens that there have been some reports of an unidentified menace in the area, so who knows, maybe we'll pick up some pranking ideas as we have a look around. Come on. So this is my old playground. Every day, so long as it's dry out, when the first morning break came at 11 AM, the bell would ring, and then there was a mad race out of the classroom, across the playground, over the wobbly manhole cover, hurdling the picnic benches, round the old tree to the climbing frame at the end of the footy field. The first kid to reach the top of the monkey bars was crowned king for the rest of the day and could order everyone else around. I thought this was something Denis definitely would do, so I put it in the book. Of course, he wins a lot, and he always sends people on errands so that he can fire his catapult at them when they're walking away. It looks like Denis is on the lookout for another prankster too. They even have a class dog here at Culverston Green. All menaces have to have good dogs, so the kids here are obviously very, very good at menaces. If you're going to be a master of menacing, you need lots of cool hiding places like tree houses or secret dens. Now sadly, when I was here at Culverston Green, we didn't have a tree house, but we did have a school stock cupboard. Now before you think I've gone completely loopy, think about all those brilliant menacing supplies like paper and ink and paint and chalk and all those lovely things. So never ever underestimate the importance of a quick trip to the school stock cupboard, because after all, menaces mean business. So stock up now. When I was a kid here, something very, very strange happened. One day we were sitting in assembly and one of our teachers got up and she said to us, boys and girls, your headmaster won't be coming back. And our old headmaster, Mr. Dibble, left. And then all of a sudden the school doors at the side of the hall burst open and a brilliant Willy Wonka style man in bright clothing and a guitar on his back leapt into assembly, and before we knew it we were singing rock songs in assembly. And it just so happens that I was super lucky because that new headmaster was none other than the brilliant children's writer Jeremy Strong, who's now written over 100 books. And it just so turns out that he's here today.
We're learning about the Romans, and I've got a question for you. How did Caesar divide up Rome?
With a pair of Caesars.
That was a rubbish answer, that was. I haven't heard anything like it since Stephen Butler was here.
Oh, I better get out of here. First one to the climbing frame is king for the day. Bye, Mr. Strong. Run!
Stop right there, Stephen. We have some questions for you. Did Stephen inspire any of the characters in your books?
Well, it's funny you should ask that. Have you read The 100 Mile an Hour Dog? It's about a very, very fast dog called Streaker, and she's rather lovable, but she's constantly misbehaving. And it did occur to me that there's actually quite a lot of Stephen in that dog.
What was the worst school dinner you ever had here?
For almost every school dinner, they used to give us a circular piece of spam, which is like rubbery meat, it's horrible stuff, and some powdered mashed potato, not even real mashed potato. And we used to have spam and mashed potato for almost every single lunchtime when I was a kid. Yes, it was very, very disgusting.
Do you think Denis or Stephen was naughtier?
I think Stephen was naughtier, actually.
Who was the biggest menace?
Who do you think is the biggest menace?
Well, thanks, everybody. They're a very well-behaved bunch, aren't they?
They are indeed,
Yeah, very
yes.
good.
Well, we've had a great time revisiting my old primary school, Culverston Green, with Jeremy Strong here, and it looks like it's still filled with lots and lots of little menaces. So goodbye, see you later, bye.
Bye.
It looks a little bit like the menace has been in this studio as well. Can you see the silly string over there? Yeah. What about teachers, though? Can teachers become menaces? Because Jeremy looked a bit cheeky.
It's not impossible, because some menaces do grow up. And I think that you should all keep a close eye on your teacher, especially that one there.
And what about her over there?
Oh, yeah.
Put your hands up if you think that your teacher might be a mystery menace. If you've got teachers around the world in your classroom, shout really loud, because we won't be able to hear you unless you're really near. A few people are looking pretty worried. Stephen, you mentioned earlier that this isn't the first time that Denis has been out-menaced.
Well, that's right. And in Bash Street Bandit, all sorts of strange things happened in Beano Town. And Denis has to find out who was causing all the trouble.
Well, who was causing the trouble?
Well, I can't tell you that, Helen, but I can share with you how Denis tracks down the mystery menace. Now, listen very carefully, everyone, because this will be very helpful if any of you are ever trying to solve a crime or write a detective story. So we're going over here to the ladder, to the crime scene. And first of all, as I just said, we need a crime scene. And that could be anything from the silly string on the picture here, or mysteriously missing socks, or someone could, I don't know, dye the class rabbit bright pink. And then we need evidence. And that is another way of saying we need to look for some clues. And they could be anything from some clothing or some fingerprints left behind by the mystery menace. Now, Denis has an amazing, mega menacing detective kit. And I'm going to show you some of the things that you need if you want your own detective kit. And so Helen's going to model for me here. Number one, we need a magnifying glass. There it is, and that's very good for spotting things, making them look bigger, seeing some things close up. Then we need, oh, very important, a big silly hat with flappy ear bits. Now, it doesn't do very much, but it's very important. All good detectives have one.
This is my favourite.
There we are. Whee! Some flaky foot talcum powder stolen from Mum, which obviously very good for dusting for fingerprints. And then very, very important, a camera for taking photographs of all your clues. There we are. Oh, and we've got a photo coming straight on here. Now, all of these things will help you find clues and sort out who you are looking for when you're doing your mystery menace searching.
I've broken it. Sorry.
Oh. So anyway, where's that magnifying glass? Let's have a look at our own crime scene and see what we can find. So we're going to have a look up here. This is a picture of me, by the way, when I was a little boy. Here we are. And, oh, I found something. Helen.
Yeah?
Look.
What?
I found a very long blonde hair.
That is absolutely nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me at all. In fact, you know what? This detective work makes one rather peckish. Luckily for you, let's move on swiftly. We've got a nice clip now from the canteen where Denis and Nasha are enjoying themselves. You'll find this on their YouTube channel.
And goodness knows who will get to do tomorrow's school lunch.
Hello, sir. My Auntie Beryl does catering.
Nutritious, delicious dinners?
Yeah, why not give her a call? Bye. Hello? Yes, this is Auntie Beryl's catering service. Let's go serve up some fun. Lovely! Who's for pizza? We're running out of mash. Sir, those dinner ladies, they're imposters. It's Denis.
What? Don't be so silly, Walter. It's his Auntie Beryl.
But, sir, look.
Ooh.
One of them is a dog.
Oh, Walter, I'm so sorry, Mrs.
Nasha, Nash?
Ah, yes, Mrs. Nash. Walter, lots of elderly ladies grow a few whiskers. Don't be so rude.
But that'll have dog drill and stuff in it now, won't it? Yeah, I don't think I fancy any of Nash's mashed potato. Right, let's have some of your questions. Vicky, who have you got in the audience?
I've got Joseph here. Joseph, what's your question for Stephen?
How old were you when you started writing?
How old was I when I started writing? Well, I was actually very young, because as you saw in that clip, I had a Jeremy Strong. I was very, very lucky. So I had Jeremy Strong as my headmaster, and he used to write stories with us at school. But I was 27 when I started writing professionally, and now I'm super old. So, yeah, I've been writing for quite a few years.
Somebody went, oh, like no stages ago. Grace, who's in St Andrew's College Junior School in Ireland, says, how do you connect with the illustrator to make him draw what you are thinking?
Very good question. Well, I'm very, very lucky because I have an amazing illustrator and he's here today. It's the marvellous Steve May, who you're going to hear from in a moment. And so the way it works is I write the book at my desk, and when I'm writing the book, I type down suggestions of what pictures I think might look good on that page, and then they all get sent off to Steve, and Steve does an incredible job of illustrating. I'm sure lots of you have seen the books, and you've seen how amazingly talented he is. Yeah, he's very, very good.
Everybody else noticed that when Steve says writing, he has to do writing.
I do, yeah. I mime all the time.
Right, Vicky, who else have you got in the audience?
We've got Cameron here. What's your question?
Why does Denis wear a red and black stripy jumper?
Why does Denis wear a red and black stripy jumper? Well, for two reasons. The first one is that red and black are the official colours of the menaces. And secondly, Denis has lots and lots of stripes. Because Denis has lots of stripes because menaces are a little bit like trees. Now, I bet you didn't know this, but now when you cut a tree in half, and there's lots of little rings inside the tree, aren't there? Have you ever seen that? Yeah, well, menaces are a lot like that because every time a menace does something naughty, a menace gains a stripe. So kind of like a tree, and that's why he has such a stripy top. He is, yeah, much stripy than anybody else in Beano Town.
The reception class and Year 1 and Year 2 of LVS Junior School would like to know if you were a character in the diary of Denis the Menace, who would you be?
That's a good question. I think I would have to be Nasher, because then you could be smelly and sleep lots and do nothing but eat sausages all day. Does that sound good? I thought so.
On that note, I'm going to move over to Steve.
There we are.
Thank you very much for sending in all your questions. If you're watching from anywhere in the world, get in touch with us via the website puffinvirtuallylive.co.uk. Now is the time to send Stephen and Steve your messages. Steve, we've heard a little bit about your fabulous work. You very humbly nodded, but it is good. How much fun is it doing the drawings for Denis the Menace?
Oh, about this fun.
We're going to do a draw-along today. Everybody's got pens and paper or pencils. This is the time, everybody, to get your pencils out, get poised. Steve, who are you going to draw for us?
I think I'm going to draw Denis's best friend in the world, Nasher.
Let's do Nasher. Thankfully, we haven't got smell-o-vision because, as Stephen just alluded to, Nasher might smell a bit. So, where do you start? Talk us through how you go about doing Nasher.
Well, as we're on the subject of smell, I'm going to start with the nose, because he likes to sniff out trouble and sausages, and preferably probably a mixture of the two. So we move that round there, and then let's add an eye, and probably best to have another eye.
How important are the eyes?
Oh, the eyes are the window to the soul. And Nasher, when he's thinking of some sort of mischievous plot, you can see because his eyebrows go down like this, because he's thinking up some mischievous, terrible plot, or he's thinking about sausages.
So the eyes can kind of make you work out whether he's going to be in a naughty
Whether
mood
he's
or a
naughty,
hungry or...
whether he's surprised, whether
Okay.
he's scared. But Nasher isn't really scared of anything, so we don't have to draw that very often.
You're drawing with a pen.
I am.
Do you always do that, or do you use pencils?
I use pens, pencils, everything I can get my hands on. And I sometimes cheat and I use a computer as well, because that means I can get rid of the mistakes quicker.
Oh, fancy. How long does it take you to do the illustrations for a book like these?
These, it just depends how difficult they are and how terrible Stephen is with making it complicated and giving me lots of different things to draw. But usually it would take me about 3 weeks or a month.
So, okay, well, so it's quite a while
It's
then.
a while, yeah. There's a lot of drawings in these. And now we come to the best bit with Nasher. The most fun is the fur, because then we just get to scribble.
So this is where having a big, thick pen helps.
Yeah, that's what you need. Big, thick pen, and you need some good scribbly, because I don't think Nasher is particularly familiar with a brush or a bath very often.
How different are the drawings in the books to the drawings in the comics?
Well, I always think that when I'm drawing Denis, I have a little dial called a menaceometer that goes from 1 to 10 for how menacey it's going to be. And usually when I'm drawing Denis, I usually add an 11 and turn it up to that.
So you make them really mischievous?
I make him really mischievous, yeah.
And do you think the trick to making something mischievous is the eyes and the facial
I
expression?
think the eyes usually work like that. So here, Nasher looks like I think he's going to cause trouble. And I think just to be nice to Nasher, let's give him some sausages as well, so he can have some lovely string of sausages for him to...
Never seen one of those types of dogs. What is he?
He is an Abyssinian tripe hound.
Of course he is.
Of course.
Steve, I'm sorry to break this to you, but it looks like you have been menaced. Great drawing. I'm going to take this over. Can I pinch this? Thank you very much, Steve. Uh-oh. It looks like somebody has been menacing in the studio. That is awesome. Thank you so much, Steve. Guys, hold up your drawings. Let's see how you've got on. And while you're doing it, show us your hands. Because they've got inky fingers. So that means we can't test them for fingerprints.
We can't test who's done it. This is very, very suspicious.
Oh, Steve, right. It's time for some more questions. I know there's a few people out showing their hands. Vicky, who else have you got with you over there?
I've got Mohammed here. Mohammed, what's your question?
Who's your favourite character in the book and why?
Who's the favourite character in the book? My favourite character would have to be Denis's little sister, Bee. Who's heard of her? Yes. And now Bee, the reason she's one of my favourites, she has a very special talent, doesn't she? What is it? Shout it out. She does. Bee's a big farter. She's a very talented farter, which is why I like writing about her.
We've got a farting football somewhere and someone's pinched it. Whoever's doing the menacing. Logan King, who's at Richmond Hill Primary School in Cumbria, wants to know, did you like to read comics when you were younger? If so, which ones were your favourite? I did that because I'm from Cumbria.
There we are. I loved reading comic books when I was little, and actually, just by chance, I loved reading the Beano. So I'm very lucky that I now get to write Denis as I'm older. But yeah, I used to get the annuals. I was a really slow reader when I was a little boy. So my mum and dad would get me an annual for Christmas, and it would take me the whole year to read it, all the way back round to the next one.
I bet they loved you.
Yeah.
That was cheap. Vicky, who else have you got?
We've got Shanae. Shanae, what's your question?
What was the most menacing thing you did at school?
What was the most menacing thing you did at school? She's covering her face over there with shyness. I once, a friend at school convinced me, do you know those little cartons that you put your straw in and drink orange juice? Have you had those? I drank all my juice and I put the straw in, and then when it was empty, I blew through the straw and blew it up, and then I put it on the floor and stamped on it in the middle of lunch. And we had a very big school hall, and it echoed, and everyone stopped what they were doing in silence and stared at me, so I just sat back down like this.
That's a great one to catch out your parents as well. Wait till your mum's turned her back, then do it. Yeah. I didn't tell you that, though. Kyle Chapman from Axholme Academy says, where do your ideas come from for Denis pranks?
Well, all over the place, really. So some of them are naughty things that I did. I was quite naughty when I was a kid, and I used to play tricks on my sister a lot. And some of them are things I invented. Some of the things I might say some things that friends have done. So ideas from all over. If you keep your eyes open, there's always a bit of inspiration going around.
Brothers and sisters are the best people to play pranks
absolutely.
On. Fact, and it never gets boring. Thank you for all of your questions. We know that you're loving these books because so many of you have been in touch, and we know that lots of you are excited for World Book Day. It's not long now.
Well, Denis can't think of anything worse. He'd much rather have World Ice Cream Day or World Trick Your Teacher Day. And that's why he's planning Operation World Menace Day. And he's written all his cunning schemes in the very special World Book Day book.
Lots of teachers are looking nervous there at World Trick Your Teacher Day. There are loads of different ways to celebrate your favourite stories on World Book Day. I think one of the best ways, though, has to be fancy dress. Loads of people do that.
Absolutely, yes, indeed. And the only way to catch a menace is to think like a menace, act like a menace, and dress like a menace. So over to our junior menacing squad to show you how to dress up like a menace for World Book Day. Or, well, any time you fancy causing a bit of trouble, really.
We're going to show you how to make a Denis the Menace costume for World Book Day.
First, we're going to make Denis's red and black stripy jumper.
You will need a red t-shirt which you're allowed to paint on, some black paint,
some masking tape, a paintbrush.
First, stretch the t-shirt over a piece of cardboard. Then stick on some stripes. Paint between the masking tape stripes. Leave to dry.
If you don't have time to paint the stripes, then use some black tape instead.
When the paint is completely dry, remove the tape.
Next, we're going to make Dennis's really messy hair. All you need is a stapler and some black card. Fit the card around your head, then cut it a little longer. Staple the ends together to make a headband. Cover the staples with tape so it doesn't hurt. Then cut 4 strips of black card that would go around your head. Stick one piece to the headband to create an arch. Do this again. And again.
Now print out the hair templates in the Book Aid International Dress Up Pack. Draw around it. Then draw around it again, but this time make it bigger, then cut it out. Staple the smaller hairpiece at the front and the bigger hairpiece at the back.
Now all you've got to do is to draw on some black eyebrows.
And remember, every menace needs a banana skin for quick getaways,
a catapult. Don't forget Nasher. See you on World Book Day on March the 5th.
Bye!
I really want a catapult now. Right, remember you can join in by dressing up as Denis himself for this World Book Day.
Menace.
Sorry, World Menace Day on March the 5th. If you want to watch that video again, you can do so over on the World Book Day website. Now, Stephen, I think we might have worked out who's been doing all the menacing in the studio and causing all the trouble.
Who?
Have a look out there.
It was you lot all along. Well, I thought you all looked a little bit extra menacing, and I'm sure Denis would be very proud to have you as his menacing mate. Whee! Right, well, there's just one thing left to do before we go, and that is quadruple check that you're real menaces and not just very short teachers in disguise.
Right, we're going to test your menacing knowledge before we go. I'm going to ask you some questions. If you want to answer A, put up your left hand. If you want to answer B, put up your right hand. If you're in a classroom and not with us, you can shout as loud as you like, because we're not there to be told off by your teachers. Audience, you've got A and B on your cards. You ready? Yeah. OK. First question. What is Denis's menacing dog called?
Is it A, Chompy, or B, Nasher?
Shout and show. Oh.
Yeah, looking good.
Universally Nasher. OK, the answer is B. Question 2. Who was Stephen Butler's head teacher?
Was it A, Jeremy Strong, or B, Roald Dahl?
Oh, someone nearly said B, but it was A, Jeremy Strong. Question 3. When you are solving a crime, what do you collect?
Do you collect A, fish, or B, clues?
B, correct. Question 4. What colour is Denis's jumper?
Is it A, red and black, or B, pink and glittery? We've got a B over there.
I really want it to be B. Next time, make it a pink and glittery.
Oh, well, give yourself, here we are, give yourself a big cheer and a big round of applause. You are all awesome menaces.
Thank you very much for your company this afternoon. Don't forget to join in World Book Day. It's on Thursday, March the 5th. You can dress up as Denis the Menace if you like, and check out Denis's extra special diary, World Menace Day. Thank you so much to Culverston Green Primary School, Jeremy Strong, and our two Stephen May, and Stephen Butler. If you want to sign up for the next show at culverstonlive.co.uk, you can do so right now. Keep menacing. Bye!
If you don't have time to paint the stripes, you could just use black tape.
Thanks for watching. Bye!